Aloha everyone, in this video we're going to go over 10 pros and cons. Well, actually it's kind of 7 because some repeat, but anyways, we're going to go over pros and cons of living on Oahu. Pro number 1, we have a unique culture here on Oahu and in Hawaii. We're geographically halfway to the east, and I like to tell people that we're also culturally about halfway to the east. So if you're going to Japan or something, you'd expect a different culture. Well, in Hawaii, it's kind of halfway the same thing. In Hawaii, there's a heavy sense of respect. People expect respect and they give it as well. So you hear younger people calling their elders auntie and uncle. So if you're from the South and you're used to the yes sir and yes ma'am, or maybe you're military and you're used to the yes sir and yes ma'am, that's really not a thing here. You can use it, no one's gonna frown upon it, but especially for younger people or anyone who's older than you, when in doubt, you can say auntie and uncle. When you're driving, you'll see people go like this. In the rearview mirror, they're acknowledging the person that let them in, and you give the acknowledgement back. That's pretty common. Also, when you're walking down a sidewalk at the beach, people are gonna tend to say hi. Hey, how's it? Aloha. Hey, how's it? You doing good? All of that stuff. Don't be surprised when random strangers come up to you and say hi and give that acknowledgement back. But one thing, don't stare at people in Hawaii. It's considered rude. No staring. This next one is both a pro and a con, and that's Hawaii's weather. A lot of you are thinking, how could the weather in Hawaii be a con? We'll get to that. For obvious reasons, the weather is a big pro. Our weather's pretty consistent year-round. If you're from the mainland, you may not even notice the season changes, but us locals, the way that we notice that it's winter versus summer is this. Here are the indicators. In the summer, it's an average about 85 degrees on the island, and the waves are good on the South Shore. Storms are coming from the southern hemisphere, and you have nice, fun summer waves. In the winter, the waves are big on the North Shore. Best waves in the world, famous waves like Pipeline and all of the other places. Additionally, it gets a little more rainy in the winter. So you may notice more rain in the winter, but it's still average 78 degrees across the island. Here's the cons with the weather in Hawaii. If you're one of the women who like to wear, nice leather boots and winter sweaters, I'm sorry ladies, that look is cute, but you're gonna be hot if you do it here. Another con is people like the changing seasons. I often hear from military friends or clients from the mainland that they miss having the seasons. Now I think that this is most prominent and most apparent in the fall. So from October, if you lived on the mainland and you're used to the leaves changing and the weather's getting cool and refreshing, it's really not the same thing here. And as you go into the holidays, you're gonna miss out on that white Christmas, but you might be able to surf on Christmas because it's usually not as crowded. So if you wanna go surf on Christmas, shoot me a message, we'll go. All right, so the next pro is kind of an obvious one and related to the last one, weather, is outdoor activities. We have some of the best surfing in the world. In fact, I taught one of my clients' daughters how to surf earlier this year. You can surf all year long. Even when the waves are small, there's still something that you can ride. In addition to surfing, you can fish and paddle and hike. We have some of the best hiking in the world, best views in the world. So all year long, there are free activities that you can do outdoors. So the next pro will be the fact that we have the biggest city in the state. On the island of Oahu, we have, as all of you know, the city of Honolulu. I'm gonna give you a tip real quick. In Hawaii, we don't say the city like they do in New York or in the Bay Area. People will say town. Oh, bro, you guys going town? You can drop me off town. I'll meet you guys in town. So that's what they're gonna say when you hear people say town. They really mean the city for you people from the big mainland cities. Oahu has the biggest city in the state, so there's a variety of cuisines and things to do. Large entertainers come to Hawaii for concerts. In fact, Bruno Mars is from here. He does some great concerts here. There's a lot of things to do, as you'd expect with any big city. There's sporting events. Now, we don't have an NBA or an NFL team, but we do have the University of Hawaii. And University of Hawaii women's and men's volleyball is really popular, and we're really competitive nationwide. It's definitely one of my favorite things about living here in my home of Oahu. We have a small town vibe. That sense of aloha is similar to Southern hospitality. All right, so the next one's another 2-for-1. This is both a pro and a con. Everyone wants to visit you when you move to Oahu. If you have in-laws, and you don't want them to come visit you, then this can be a definite con, right? Sorry, I can't help you with that one. Maybe when we're buying your house, we'll make sure that you don't get that 4-bedroom and you get a 3-bedroom, so mother-in-law can't come stay with you guys. The great thing about this is you get to spend more time with family. I know a lot of my clients who are from the mainland are military friends and clients. They're concerned that they're not going to get the family time that they once had when they were stationed on the mainland. Well, Honolulu International Airport is a large airport, tons of flights coming in and out of Hawaii daily, and your family can easily come see you. Not only do you get to spend time with family in paradise, which you may not have made that trip and paid for that vacation in the past, you can help your family save money by staying with you, by borrowing your car, and so it drastically reduces their vacation costs. Everyone wanting to come and visit you is both a good thing and a bad thing. Alright, so the first con is island fever. Now, I don't get this, but some people do. I don't miss being on the mainland and having to drive 12 hours to go somewhere. If I'm gonna be sitting down for 12 hours, I'm probably gonna be on a plane, and I'm okay with that. But some people miss road trips, and if you're from the Midwest or something like that, I get it. Here in Hawaii, a road trip is driving around the island. So on Oahu, it takes about 2.5 hours, depending if you go all the way down the west side. It takes 2.5, 3 hours to drive around the island. People drive around the island, they stop to get plate lunches, stop to get famous shave ice. You can even stop at the beach and you can get garlic shrimp on the North Shore. You don't have to spend 12 hours, but by the time you're finished, you're ready to go home and enjoy your couch just like you would anywhere else. So I don't get the island fever thing, but some people do. So this con, high cost of food, gas, and other goods, is an obvious one. We're gonna do another video at another time, but we'll touch on the fact that food is just more expensive in Hawaii. We do have a Whole Foods or two. We have our own version of a health food store called Down to Earth. So you can find fresh veggies and other things like that at local farmers markets. There are ways to save money, and we'll do a video on that. But in general, food just costs more here in Hawaii. Gas in Hawaii and gas on Oahu is higher than the national average. We're among the highest in the country. But at the same time, you don't have to drive very far. So I mentioned that I used to live in California. It'd be normal for someone to drive 40 miles to work. In Hawaii, 40 miles is a road trip. No one would ever drive 40 miles to work. Gas is expensive, but you don't drive as far. Food is expensive, but there are ways you can grow your own food in Hawaii. You can find ways to save money. So you may be surprised to hear this one, but we have really bad traffic on Oahu. Now, it depends on where you live. If you live on the east side, there's about 5 ways to get to the east side. So traffic tends to be consistently the same throughout the year. And even if there's an accident in one way, you can just divert to the other way. Now, the bad traffic comes when you live on the west side and you have to commute to town. Again, town is what most people would call the big city. The worst traffic is going from the west side to town and from town to the west side. To give you an example, peak hours in the afternoon, they don't start until about 3:30 p.m. and they start fizzling away by 5:30 p.m. and by 6:30, traffic's pretty manageable. It's not the worst thing in the world. You probably make it home in time to throw on your surf shorts and go for a swim. Mahalo for watching this video. Please subscribe below, and if you have any questions or you want to see any specific videos in the future, please reach out and let me know. If you have any real estate needs, whether you're gonna buy, sell, or even if you're gonna rent here on the island, I just love helping people, so please reach out to me anytime. All of my information will be listed below, and you can also go to DerekOkahashi.com. Thank you for watching this video. We'll be making more in the future.